behind him in line. He's brought Derek Cope up with him. From John Andretti, looking ahead to Earnhardt. And it's all one pack again, but for 7 cars in their own draft, well back, led by Wallace. On point is Marlin. That's Jimmy Spencer up alongside of Greg Sachs, Joe Nemechek, Bobby Labonte, Dale Jarrett, Terry Labonte, and Mike Skinner. That is everybody in the race right there in 2 packs.
Boy, I tell you what, these guys hadn't had one moment to get their breath since they dropped the green flag. It's been side-by-side racing, and it just don't get any better than that. Look at these guys going for second right here. They're door handle to door handle all the way back through the top 30 spots.
24 cars fight for second place.
No time to relax.
Well, how do you get any rest out there? I mean, not rest, but this is a 500-mile commute in a little less than 3 hours.
If there's any such thing as rest on Talladega, Sterling Marlin in the lead right now. He don't have to worry about anybody beside him. There is no rest when you're doing what the Bud car here is doing through the corner.
Ricky Craven on the outside of Kenny Schrader. Mark Martin hard at work on the straightaway, looking in that mirror. 2 glances to the mirror. Now that right hand comes over. John Andretti, you see, holds the wheel at 9 and 3. That's how they teach it in road racing. Keep that hand opposite sides of the wheel.
Mike, you can see him turning his head even at 30 degrees of banking, 33 degrees of banking in the corner. You can see him tilt his head because there's a lot of centrifugal force on that head going through the corner. Even though he has a brace there, he's not using it.
And Bill Elliott, he's at about 10 and 2 on the steering wheel. How did you run?
That was pretty much the way I like to run. See where his hand there? It's on the very top of the wheel. You have control either left or right from that position. That's very important in the corners.
And Dale Jarrett, he's about a 1 at 11 o'clock driver, would you say, Ned?
Yeah, he's a little higher on the steering wheel than the others.
But you see where his hand is. It's where it can go either way if the car reacts any way that he does not like it.
Just a little over center. Ned, how'd you hold the wheel?
Somewhere about where Dale does, or maybe 10 to 2, somewhere in that area.
And Jimmy Spencer leads him around, slips up there in front of Bobby Labonte. Didn't leave a lot of room, it didn't look like. And here comes Marlin on the bottom in the yellow car.
Races here at Talladega are the most mentally taxing of any races they run anywhere because of what we're seeing right here.
Ned, I've won races here and get out of the car and absolutely feel like I'd run 2 500-lap races on half-mile track. Everybody says you're out there on just a ride. Every minute you're out there, mentally you're taxing yourself, physically you're taxing yourself, and you also have to keep yourself under control and be disciplined at the same time.
Well, you got to look ahead, you got to look behind you, you got to look beside of you, and you can't let off the accelerator.
I can't imagine anything in sports that's more stressful for a more sustained length of time.
No, I can't either. There might be moments, seconds in other sports that would be as stressful, but not for this period of time.
Left side of your screen, Jimmy Spencer, National Modified Champion of NASCAR. Followed the Bouchard and the Bodines and Greg Sachs to Winston Cup. He's found quite a home here, and he leads this show. His last win came here in 1994, 99 races ago.
He was driving for the legend Junior Johnson at that time.
Won Daytona, July, and here at Talladega. Bobby Labonte, Terry Labonte right behind him. And the yellow car, Sterling Marlin, the number 4 down to the inside with Joe Nemechek in tow. Ken Squires had quite an eye on Jimmy Spencer over his career.
Well, certainly the last week has been one of the most impressive for Spencer. It was just a week ago at Charlotte, North Carolina, that he drove what many considered the race of his life against Mark Martin in a 300-mile Grand National race. They ran the last 20 laps side by side. He continued to pinch Martin down and take that victory, dramatic style, and he's giving us the same kind of demonstration right now. But here's Terry Labonte slipping through on the inside to take the advantage.
I think at the start of this show, I said Terry Labonte was going to run well today. This is proof. Did you see that move? To the outside, then to the inside. goes by Spencer and takes the lead in one straightaway. What a move.
He went from the penthouse to the basement, took the elevator, and took it right to the lead. It's the first time Labonte has led since lap 26 of this race.
And we were all concerned about Mr. Earnhardt. He's back in the fight again. He's moved right back up. He's a black car there, just over Joe Nemechek, the 42. He's running very well. You can see down the back straightaway, he has a great car today.
He's got 8 great cars, though, right in front of him.
He does that.
Terry Labonte, fastest in practice. Lined up 6th for this race. And that was the 28th lead change of this race. That's the most in any Winston Cup race this season. And we've had several that have had 20 or more. Most competitive race of the year, taking the title from Pocono. Bobby Labonte in 3rd. That's the highest placed Pontiac in the field, behind the Chevy of Terry Labonte and the Ford of Spencer. Then it's Greg Sachs and Ricky Craven. I believe it's the first time Craven's been in the top 5 today in that red Budweiser 25.
Boy, he had a great run in Daytona. He just did everything perfect, and everybody said this is the year for Ricky Craven. And right after that, everything started going wrong. Had a terrible crash in Texas. Had to go to the hospital, spend some time out of the race car. But believe me, he can drive a super speedway.
And look at this fight, 3 wide with Mark Martin upstairs of Joe Nemechek and Jeff Gordon. Look at this. You can be in 10th place here and only be 3 car lengths back of the leader.
Now they're going 4 wide. There, Michael Waltrip, does he see that car down there? Well, it didn't matter because he was able to get in front of it.
That's one way to look at it. I'm sure that right at the moment there, Ernie Irvin was going, hey, I'm not sure this is going to work.
There's Mike Skinner in car number 31 on the inside of Mark Martin. Let's go to the pits and Ralph Shaheen.
Well, Ned, there's more good news for Terry Labonte and the crew, the number 5 car. Andy Graves, the man you see here in the red and white fire suit, is the crew chief currently for Ricky Craven. Well, today we can tell you that Andy has told me he will be announced shortly as the new crew chief for the number 5 car for the 1998 season. That has completely rejuvenated this crew. They are excited. They are preparing for 1998, and they feel that another championship is on their way in 98 once Andy returns home to the 5 crew.
Andy was the chassis specialist for that team, with Gary DieHard as the team leader at the beginning of this season.
Well, Gary DieHard had personal problems. He did a great job for Terry Labonte. They won a championship, but things just got where he couldn't deal with them, and felt that he would be better off just to pull back for a while, take a good look at the sport, and then re-enter.
Andy's dad, Fred Graves, great super modified racer, and currently Ron Hornaday's truck team crew chief. Bobby Labonte sits up in 3rd place. Let's go to his pit. Bill Stevens.
And with his crew chief, Jimmy Makar. Bobby's had just about every position out there today. He's up near the front. What's he telling you?
Well, he's not doing a lot of talking right now. He's got his hands full. You guys are putting on a heck of a show. A lot of passing, a lot of moving around. The car's working pretty good. We've been thinking with the handling a little bit, but all in all, it's been a pretty good day so far. We're just trying to kind of stay near the front and keep the car in position for later on in the race. Kind of feel out who's strong, who's not strong, who may be your partner for later on.
That's the plan. Let's see if it sticks.
128 laps complete. Dale Earnhardt has come to 4th behind Bobby Labonte. CBS Sports coverage of the Sears DieHard 500 will continue after this message and a word from your local station.
Sears DieHard 500 is sponsored by DieHard, saluting race fans everywhere. DieHard, tried and true. Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? And by Brewery Fresh Budweiser, the king of beers.
In 28 years, this race has had 23 different winners. It's been a race of dark horses. The first 14 years, they had 14 faces in victory lane before Darrell Waltrip became the first repeat winner. And right now, the first 6 drivers in this race have not won this season. Terry and Bobby Labonte, Ricky Craven, Dick Trickle, Dale Earnhardt, add Ken Schrader to that list. Now the Labonte brothers run 1-2. Terry in the 5 and Bobby in the 18. There has been a brother act 1-2 finish here. Donnie Allison beat Bobby Allison to the checker in the 1971 May race here. So it wouldn't be a first.